In this Brandon's blog, Brandon talks about the liquidity crisis that is location-specific distress when major infrastructure projects last for a very long time. It negatively affects businesses and commercial properties that are in the middle of the construction zone. This can happen anywhere. It is happening right now in Vaughan, and as Brandon's blog points out, it happened before in Toronto with the St. Clair West and Eglinton Avenue LRT projects. So in this Brandon's blog, Brandon talks about the problem and provides solutions for business owners negatively affected by long-term infrastructure construction programs. I am Avatar Ira Smith, president of Ira Smith Trustee and Receiver, Inc. Right now, Ira and Brandon Smith are helping consumers and entrepreneurs with financial problems just like you. We are not for everyone. We are a true family business. But if we accept you as a client, we promise you will get first-class service and you will always be dealing with one of our licensed insolvency trustees, never a clerk or an associate. So if you are experiencing financial distress, give us a shout for a no-cost consultation. I hope you can watch until the end of this video and you find the information helpful.
Are you a business owner in Vaughan, Ontario? Then you are living through an absolute nightmare of orange cones, dust, and detours. And let's be real, this isn't just some minor inconvenience. It's a full-on attack on your livelihood. So let's get into what's really going on and, more importantly, what on earth you can do about it. And that's from Brandon Smith, a licensed insolvency trustee whose office is smack in the middle of all this chaos on Applewood Crescent. See, he's not just some expert watching from a distance. He's living this right alongside his clients. He sees firsthand every single day how these massive projects are putting a unique and, frankly, devastating strain on local businesses. You know, this problem actually has a name. It's being called the Gridlock Liquidity Crisis. And that phrase, location-specific distress, is so important. It means this isn't your normal recession where everybody's feeling the pinch. No, this is a targeted crisis where the very location you pay a premium for has suddenly turned into your biggest liability, all thanks to that never-ending construction on Rutherford Road and Highway 400. So just how bad is it, really? If you feel like you're the only one out there struggling to keep your head above water, I promise you, you're not. The numbers, well, they tell a story that's becoming all too familiar for businesses all over. I mean, just look at this number, 70%. That's almost 3/4 of all small businesses in the entire country who've taken a direct financial hit because of local construction. So that frustration and anxiety you're feeling, yeah, it's completely valid. It's a shared nightmare. And here's where the rubber really hits the road, or does it in this case? We're talking an average revenue drop of 25%. Now, for most small businesses, losing 1/4 of your sales, that's not just a tough month. That's the tipping point. That's what pushes a perfectly healthy business into a full-blown crisis where just making payroll and rent becomes a weekly panic attack. And the thing is, this pain doesn't just go away. We're talking an average of 481 days. That's more than 1.25 years of this grind. And with the Vaughan projects expected to drag on until 2026, maybe even 2027, you can see that just waiting it out is not a plan. This calls for a long-term marathon strategy, not some short-term Band-Aid. And if you want to understand just how high the stakes are, you really don't have to look very far. We have a recent cautionary tale from just down the road in Toronto. The LRT construction on streets like St. Clair and Eglinton, it's a devastating preview of what can happen if you don't get ahead of this. The impact there was just brutal. The construction literally choked off the lifeblood of those Main Street businesses, people walking by. Revenue didn't just dip, it plunged by as much as 50%. During just one of those projects, over 200 businesses had to shut their doors for good. The lesson here is so clear and so urgent for Vaughan. Waiting for the city to finish is a losing game. It is not a business strategy. Okay, so that's the problem. It's big, it's serious, it's real. But, and this is the important part, you are not helpless. Let's pivot now. Let's talk about the solution, about the immediate, concrete steps you can take to start getting some control back over your cash flow. These are your first-line defenses right now. You've got to start by looking at every single expense and slashing anything that isn't absolutely essential. At the same time, you have to get creative. If your customers can't get to you, how can you get to them? Think e-commerce, think delivery. And maybe most critically, you have to open a line of communication with your landlord. Don't hide. Be upfront. And here it is. This is the question that I know keeps so many of you up at night. It's a huge fear, because the reality is, here in Ontario, commercial landlords have a surprising amount of power. So what are the actual legal risks you're up against? Okay, the reality is, it's harsh. A landlord can legally exercise what's called distress. That means they can literally walk into your business and seize your inventory, your equipment, to cover the rent you owe. They can terminate your lease and lock you out. And on top of all that, they can sue you for every single penny. This is precisely why getting ahead of the problem is so incredibly important. But what if you feel like you're already past the point of simple negotiations? Well, this is where formal insolvency options come into play. And I really want you to try and reframe how you think about these. These are not signs of failure. Think of them as powerful legal shields that are designed to protect your business and give you the breathing room you desperately need. So there are two main paths here. On one side, you've got what's called a Division 1 proposal. This is all about restructuring. Basically, you make a deal with your creditors to pay back just a portion of what you owe. The best part? You get to keep your business open, and it legally stops all collections calls and legal actions. On the other side is bankruptcy. This is more of a last resort. It usually means the business closes, the assets are sold off, but the debt is completely wiped out. The choice really comes down to one big question. Can this business be saved? Now, trying to navigate these options is complex, to say the least. And in a situation that is so specific to this one area, having someone who actually gets the local landscape is absolutely critical. And that brings us right back to why a local expert, a neighbor, can make all the difference in the world. And honestly, this quote from Brandon Smith just says it all. You don't need someone reading you theories from a textbook. You need real-world fixes from someone who understands that every detour sign feels like money being stolen from your pocket. That shared experience, sitting in the same traffic jams, leads to practical, empathetic solutions that are built for the absolute mess that is the Vaughan construction zone. So we've gone through the crisis, the numbers, the potential solutions. After all of that, what is the one crucial thing you need to walk away with today? It's this. Get out in front of it. Proactivity is everything. Every single day that you wait, just bleeding cash and hoping things magically get better, is the day you lose your options. Acting early, the minute you see those warning signs, is the single most powerful move you can possibly make to save the business you poured your life into. Listen, those pylons and bulldozers do not have to decide your future. Your path out of this gridlock can start today with a simple, completely confidential, and totally free conversation. Reach out to a local expert like Brandon and his team at Ira Smith Trustee and Receiver. They can help you understand your rights, they can help you assess your situation, and they can help you build a real plan to get through the dust. You really don't have to do this alone.